Hey everybody, Michelle with 1L from Bakes by Vasco out here with Island City Fishing today at one of our favorite panfish lakes, hoping to catch something to cook for you. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, we're off the water and back in my kitchen. Kayak care, don't care. It's all about what we're going to cook right now. My husband had a suggestion. He asked for it. He wanted some kind of fish cakes. So we went out today, as you see earlier, and we caught a pile of panfish, and he came home and filleted them. And we're going to make panfish patties with a zesty lemon lime Dijon aioli. Stay tuned. So I said to myself, Self, what can we dip these in that would be a little more fancy than, say, tartar sauce? Not that my husband's tartar sauce is not the bomb, mind you, but it's just one of those things I wanted to do tonight. So I looked through my cookbooks because I'm all about that, but nothing really stood out to me. So I decided to come up with something on my own. And that's what we're going to do tonight, a zesty lemon lime Dijon aioli. Aioli is just a fancy word for mayonnaise. Anyway, what you're going to need is a half a cup of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, a half a tablespoon of lime juice, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of smoked paprika, and salt and pepper to taste. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make the aioli so that it can be refrigerated while you go on to your next steps. I have my half a cup of mayonnaise measured out. I'm going to add to that 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and a half a tablespoon of lime juice. And then I'm going to whisk that together till smooth. And then to my smooth mixture, I'm going to add my dry seasoning, which is a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, a pinch of smoked paprika, and salt and pepper to my liking. And just whisk that in there as well. And just get everything smooth and incorporated. And then you'll cover this and sit it in the refrigerator while you move on to your fish. All right, now what you're going to actually need is the fish itself. We have about 1 pound of freshly caught bluegill here. You can use bluegill, you can use any kind of fish that you find in your store, but my recommendation, go down to your local pond and catch it yourself. One then you're going to need for the to mix with it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought thinking about fishing. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of finely diced red onion, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried parsley, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 large egg lightly beaten, a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of this really cool Hunt Chef straight out of the bay seasoning blend we have, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and then we're going to fry it in good old-fashioned Crisco. So just a few hours ago, these guys were swimming around in one of our little favorite panfish lakes, and now they're going to be turned into panfish patties. Eric and I were talking about, let's do something. We've been doing a lot of fancy stuff, which I know if you follow along, you're probably thinking, man, that's some really neat stuff. But we want to do something a little more simple, but not just your average fried fish. So what you're going to do first for these patties is you want to make your fish flaky. Like if you would do a crab cake or a salmon cake, we're going to do it with panfish. So the first thing you're going to do is poach them. Now what you're going to do is just take your fillets and just lay them in a shallow pan. We caught these. Actually, I caught nothing but bass. Eric caught all the eaters. And then he came home and filleted them. So we have our freshly caught and freshly filleted panfish here in our shallow skillet. And I just took some water and added my Hunt Chef straight out of the bay seasoning to it to give it a little extra instead of just plain water. When I talk about this Hunt Chef, we'll put the link in the description. But you can use just regular Old Bay seasoning or any of your favorite seasoning that you like for your fish. This just happens to be our preference, and again, we'll put the link in the description. So what you're going to do is just pour this liquid over your fish, just enough to cover the fish. Some of these are a little thicker than others, so we'll put them toward the back because a little bit. There. My fingers and hands are clean. Always start off with that yourself. All right. Those seem to all be saturated in the liquid. I'm losing my voice. Use it all. And then you just want to turn this on medium and let them simmer. About 5 to 6 minutes. All right, our fish are falling apart, so they are ready to be removed. I'm just going to take them out of the pan and put them in a glass baking bowl that we're going to then turn around and make our breading in to turn these into panfish patties. Now we are ready to take our lovely bowl of fish, let it cool off, and we will go slice some red onion. All right, everybody, the fish is now cool enough that I can handle it, and that's what you want. We have about 1 pound there, and we're going to flake that up and add to that 1/4 cup of finely diced red onion and a 1/4 teaspoon of dried parsley. So you just take a fork and just get it to come apart. You don't want any huge chunks, but you don't want it just pulverized. Again, we're using bluegill and redear, and we caught them in a local little panfish lake. I recommend highly that if you have a place to fish, go out and catch yourself some fresh fish and cook it up either like this or one of my other recipes that you can find on my channel. And if you like to fish, go over to Island City Fishing and give Eric a like and subscribe. And in the fall and winter, when you don't have anything to do, you can watch him. The red onion not only is good flavor, it also gives it just a little pop of color in there. You can already smell it. Okay. Then we add to that our mayonnaise, mustard, egg, lemon juice. Dijon mustard brings back childhood memories of pulling up and next to fancy cars and going, "Pardon me, do you have any?" Grey Poupon. Looks a mess, doesn't it? Just mix that up. Then we poach the fish in the Hunt Chef seasoning, but we want to add just a little bit more, or whatever seasoning you're using. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in there. And mix it up. Now this right now you could spread on crackers probably and get away with it, but we're going to go ahead and make these into patties by adding our breadcrumbs. We're going to add a 1/2 cup. We'll start with half of that though, because you don't want them so dry, but you don't want them wet either. Let's add a little bit more. Give it a test run here. Yeah, I think it needs that whole half cup, honestly. Oh. I think we're good now. They still seem a little wet to me. Honey, since my hands are wet, would you do me the honors? The panko breadcrumbs are right there. Would you give them just a little bit of a shake? That's probably about another tablespoon there. One more tablespoon. Oh, noisy. That feels about right now. I'm just going to form it into a patty. And you just take and do that. You don't want them too big. You don't want them too thick. And you just do that with however many you can get out of your batch of stuff here. And that made 6, if I can count correctly. Yep, got 6 of them out of that. And these are ready now. When the oil is hot, we will fry them up. Our Crisco is hot and ready for our fish patties. So I'm just going to scoop them up here off the plate and very gently lay them into the hot oil. You don't want to crowd them. This made 6 nice little patties here. I've got these on medium high. You're going to want to cook these 4 to 7 minutes per side till they're brown and crispy and cooked through. You have to be a little familiar with frying fish or frying anything. And just keep an eye on it. And then you're going to transfer it to paper towel so the grease can drain off. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil, whatever oil you have on hand when you want to cook. I just prefer Crisco. It just seems to have a cleaner burn and it's better for fish. And it travels better. If you're camping, you can take some Crisco much easier than you can take oil that might spill. Again, I base these off of any kind of a basic salmon patty or crab cake type recipe, only using the panfish that we just caught. Like I said, you can adapt it to your liking or follow my recipe exactly. Whatever you do, I hope you'll hit like and I hope you'll subscribe and come back and see me for more catch and cooks and more sweet bakes. And I have a birthday coming up and I have something special planned for that. My husband's behind the camera and his mouth is watering because it already smells really amazing in here. This definitely brings back memories of my childhood. My mom, before she had to go into retail full time, cooked salmon patties a lot. I wasn't a fan as a kid, but it's one of those things that as a grown up without my mom I miss now. So this should be a nice dinner tonight. Turn these over again. Let the other side get as brown. Frying. This frying is taking way too long. All right. I don't think that these are going to get any more done without turning into little charcoal briquettes. So we're going to remove them from the heat and put them over here on their paper towel to drain the grease off. Once again, everybody, this is Bakes by Vasco, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me on my escapades today. As always, the best part of anything I make is the eating. Mm. Definitely try this one. See you next time.